There you go. It's good to be together this Friday morning, and I hope you're doing okay. It's always an honor to talk to you. Here are the words for the day. Even though we're long distance, we continue to be inspired and grateful for all the behind the scene that goes on at All Saints. All the behind the scene things that go on at All Saints, and there's lots of stuff that does go on. And those words are from Kathy Allsot, whose son Adam. His picture has been hanging on the wall for years by my office. Adam is a year younger, would be a year younger than my 45-year-old son. And even though he died at the age of 16, his spirit is at the heart and soul of who we are. And I think of people like Kathy and her husband John and their family. They've been away physically from the church for many, many years. And yet they continue to be nourished by the church, because our church is more than just a building. Our church is a way of life, and it's a lifestyle, it's a spirit. I remember talking to one of my buddies that doesn't go to church, and he says, I like coming to your church once in a while, Don. And I like the fact that you have that love bucket and you collect money for special needs and that kind of thing. So I don't really like to give money to the church, but I like to give money to the special causes. And I said, let me just remind you that if the church wasn't here, this building, the love bucket wouldn't be here. And we wouldn't be able to do many of the things that we do. And even though this is bricks and mortar, this brick and mortar place makes it possible to do lots of spiritual things. But I must admit, my understanding of the church has really grown, especially the last 3 years. Because for a long time, I was probably way too preoccupied with this place and making sure that the place was here and we had enough money and we had good attendance. And when the pandemic came and we had to shut down and we celebrated the full Mass to an empty church, I realized that the church extends way beyond the doors, that the church is you, that the church comes alive when you walk out of here and you treat people with kindness and respect. And so my understanding of the church has grown, and it's a lot deeper and it's a lot richer, and that's really thanks to you, because I learned a lot when we couldn't be here. And then gradually, as we started coming back, and we continued to reach out to people in need and support the causes that are so important, I realized the church is every one of you. The church is in Italy, it's in Austria, it's in South Carolina, it's in Palos Park and Tinley Park and Orland Park, because the church is us together. But I'm glad we have this place, and this place has been here for almost 60 years. I look back on the years that I've been here, and when the pandemic started, I guess my biggest concern was staying connected. You know, through the thought through the day and through live streaming the services. And that connection has stayed strong. And that connection is probably, in many ways, stronger than ever because we're together for all the right reasons. When you do something you love, it's hard to know when to end. And one of the decisions we've made is that next week will be our last week for the Thought for the Day. In fact, our last Thought for the Day in this format is going to be Friday, November 4th. And we struggled with that. You know, it's hard to know when to end something, because the Thought for the Day has really kept us connected in many ways. And yet at the same time, I realize as time goes on that there's all kinds of ways of staying connected, and we'll use different formats. But whenever you have something special, and I owe so much to the team that has put this together, when do you call an end to it and then try something new, which is what we're going to do. And I think it's good to end something when it's still healthy. And also, sometimes endings are the birthplace of new beginnings. You know, when the pandemic came and we had to end in-person worship, we got a little more creative and say, how can we be connected and how can our connection become deeper and richer? And we've kind of done that. And if we end the thought for the day, are there some other ways that we can stay connected? And we can do that. And I think in life, we all have beginnings and endings. And sometimes when something ends, it gives us the courage and the strength to do something different. And then in the endings, that becomes the soil of new life and freshness. And I do hope that's what happens. Every single day is a gift. Every day I think of you and the spirit that binds us together. And I think of people like Kathy and her husband John and my buddy Adam, who's been gone a long time. And I think that even though the miles separate us, the power of prayer and the goodness that we share brings us closer and closer together. And that's what inspires us and helps us be creative and strong as we face the future. It's good to talk to you, and I look forward to seeing you at 8:30 and 11 o'clock on Sunday. God bless. Thank you, Doug.